Yo, a few years ago, a friend of mine had a son who was selling knives, right? And she had him, set up a meeting with me to sell knives. And I did it out of the kindness of my heart. I'm just like, cool, why not? Because, he was young, trying to, make some money, just do his thing and all that. He was growing up and all that. So I was just like, yeah, cool, I'll do it. Um, it turned out to be Cutco knives. At the time, I did not know what Cutco knives were, but if you don't know, they're like these special knives that they're just really good as far as I'm concerned. So, and the whole thing, the selling point is that they don't get dull. You know what I mean? They stay sharp. I believe that. I believe that's what it was. I don't remember, which is probably not true because these days I have to get my knives sharpened. But anyway, pardon me by the way. You know what I'm saying? Got a little I don't even know what you call it, but I'm a little under the weather. So I sit down with him. He points out all these knives to me, telling me I could buy this whole entire thing. I'm like, all right, cool, but I don't need all of that. But he points out a few knives, and I'm like, oh, yeah, let me get that one. One was a chef knife. He explained how I could use it. One was like a serrated knife. One was like a bread knife or something like that. And then one was like this. It was like the serrated knife, except it was like skinny and smooth. You know what I'm saying? So I bought four knives. And yo, that changed the way that I cook. You know what I'm saying? Because before that, I was using a knife that I had to constantly sharpen. And even when I sharpened it, it wasn't like doing its thing. It still felt dull. Oh, there we go. Can't have a show without some what do you call that? Without some unwarranted notifications. So listen, I get the knives, change the way I'm doing things. I'm cutting onions. You know what I mean? I'm cutting veggies. I'm cutting meat. I'm going crazy with these knives after I get them. I'm cutting bread like crazy because these were perfect for me. Now, beforehand, I was doing my thing. I was good. You know what I'm saying? I was doing what I could with the knives that I had. But after buying these knives, I got way better because my tools got better. Period. But remember, beforehand, I was already cooking. I was already chopping and slicing and dicing and all that. It's not like I started doing that after I got the knives. So once he sold those to me and put them in my hand, I just became way better. Better than him. He wasn't a chef. He was just like, yo, I have these tools that you might need. Take a look. And he was right. I did need them. And again, remember, I took this out of the courtesy of my, friendship. I was just like, all right, yeah, I'll do it. So the point I'm trying to drive home here is that those tools were relevant to me. And he knew about the tools, but he didn't know about cooking. He wasn't a chef, but he knew what these tools could do for a chef. I'm not a chef, you know what I'm saying, but I cook. And so these knives leveled me up. They made me way better at what I was doing, made me faster because now I'm just going with the knives super quick. All right. Now here's the comparison. You probably already know where I'm going with this, but I know SharePoint. So I'm him in this situation. I don't know your business, but you do. You know your business better than me. When I show you what you could do with SharePoint, that now makes you dangerous. I'm as dangerous as I can be just being a regular SharePoint person. So if I'm embedded in an organization or someone has hired me to do some work, they know the importance of what I'm doing. They ask questions, I respond, I do all of that. So same thing here. What I'm trying to tell you is I on my own, I'm dangerous because I know how to use SharePoint. But I make you very dangerous because you know what's important. I help you do your thing more because I've now put this crazy tool inside of your hands and given you some education and tell you how you can use it. Listen, my name is Thurman Trotman. This is the SharePoint Help Desk podcast. I am obviously your host. I'm riding solo today. Last week, shout out to y'all for listening to that the episode with Ami where we talked about SharePoint. I know I always say, listen, this is not a technical show. Let me not say that. I talk less about the tech and more about strategy. That's what I do here on this episode. So last week, a lot of tech because we were excited about these changes that we wanted to talk about. But this week, I'm getting back to the strategy. I'm getting back to the process, to the people. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like. Now, I want to drive home this point. I make you dangerous. That's what this show is all about. It's about me telling you how I make you dangerous. So, number one, you're the SME, right? Like, you understand how your business works. You understand what strategies are working. You understand the power of process, the people, all the things that are broken, all the things that are challenging. You understand that stuff. And because you know that stuff, once I tell you, hey, SharePoint is available, now you can say, oh, well, let me give that thing a shot because I know how to integrate it into my business. So the one point that I want to drive home, I'm not even doing a top 3 or a top whatever. You know what I'm saying? Here's the point that I want to drive home is that you don't have to know how. You just have to know who. That's it. You just have to know who. In this case, I'm your who. If you're listening to this, I'm one of your who's. Let's say that. You don't need to know how to do a thing in SharePoint. Not yet, anyway. You just need to know who to ask about what you're trying to do. That's what we do as consultants. So if you right now are running a process and you're like, man, I've heard about SharePoint. I think this thing could work. That's where I come in. You come and ask me and you say, Thurman, I'm trying to do this, this, and this. Would SharePoint be a good solution for this? And I'll say yes. Now, after I say yes, or I say no, I might say no. A lot of times I can say no. I say yes, I say no. After we make that, take that step, you now decide, should I now implement this into do I now implement this into the process? Do I now implement this into the business? You make that decision because like I mentioned, what processes are broken. You know what you tried to do in a different tool and it didn't work. You know the politics of your office. You know who's in charge, who's not in charge, who can make things happen, who can't make things happen. This is all super valuable information that I want to drive home. It already makes you dangerous. If you're good at this, if you're good at your job, then what I'm presenting is just going to make you better. I think I can't remember if I mentioned on this show before, but I got a few mantras, and one of them is I can't make you good, but I can make you better. And what I mean by that is if you suck at what you do, then I can't change that. You know what I'm saying? I can't step in there and make you good now all of a sudden with showing you what you can do with this technology. It doesn't work that way. With the technology or without the technology, you're still going to suck because how good you do your job doesn't really have to do with the technology. It has to do with all the other things. Technology just enhances. So for instance, if you know it's important for you to show up to, a staff meeting where this is one of the rare times that you're going to get everybody in a room and be able to connect with certain people, that's a part of making you good. If you're the type of person that's like, yo, I'm not going to that meeting because I don't need to, maybe you don't need to, that's fine. But if you know that this is going to help you help someone else, which helps the business, which helps the bottom line, which helps everybody, if you ignore doing something like that, then to me, you are not that good. Can you get your job done? I'm sure, but you're not that good compared to the person who recognizes the importance of going to a meeting, talking to a certain person, influencing that person and having that person implement something for them or, communicate something across their piece of the organization. These are important things as part of like doing your job or running a company or whatever. If you are not already doing these things that are important, I can't come along and then make you good at that. You just already suck. But if you already are good at these things, you recognize what's important and you're trying to do these things, then that I can help with. Because you're like, listen, I'm trying to communicate with these folks every day. But, typing up this email, even though I enjoy typing up this email and sending it out at the beginning of the day, it's a bit much. What else can I do? Oh, well, here's your solution. Inside of Microsoft 365, which you already pay for, there's a video tool in there. So instead of writing these things and sending out an email, why don't you just record a quick video? You can speak these things faster than you can write them. Record a quick video, put it inside of, record it in Stream, host it on the site, send the link out. You could do that every morning. How about that? Now, think about that. Think about the person who's not trying to communicate with their team every day doing this one one-to-many situation. I'm not saying that makes you bad if you don't do that, but your team members need some kind of stickiness, especially in this virtual world. We need to know that, number one, you exist. Number two, you care. Number three, you're doing the things that, we need you to do on a regular basis. It's good to have that visibility. So if you've already thought of that on your own and you're doing that, and you're like, man, sending these emails, and then you're like, I need a better way to do it, and now you could get to do it through video. I have now taken you from good to better. You know what I'm saying? That's where I can help. That's how I make you dangerous. You know what I'm saying? In comparison to your counterparts. So maybe there's somebody else running their company and they do it from a distance. You know what I mean? They're working virtually and they're behind the scenes and their team members don't really see much of them. Cool. You can make things happen. It's fine. Anybody need to be sending out communications every day. But if you've recognized that sending out communications every day is valuable inside of your organization, and now you're trying to level it up to video, and you're seeing results from that because the team members are saying, yeah, we liking these videos. They're responding and letting you know about challenges. They feel comfortable telling you, information that they would normally not tell the boss or whatever, or the manager or the leader. You, compared to your counterpart, are getting some real good ROI out of that. And that's because we injected some technology to support what you're already doing. We've made you dangerous compared to your counterpart running some other company. You got to pardon me. Sorry about that. So again, that's what this episode is all about. I think I could go on all day about this, and I'm going to put out different pieces of content, but I just want to stress you are dangerous when you add what I have to offer to your arsenal. Or this could go with anything, but I'm talking about me personally, what I can help you with. You know what I'm saying? With your SharePoint, you plus SharePoint equals danger. You know what I'm saying? For your counterparts who you're competing with, it makes you dangerous in a good way for your folks who are, who you're leading, the organization you're running, all of that stuff. So this is the point that I want to stress is why you need to know not how, but who, is when you get an idea and you're thinking, man, I wonder if I can do this with SharePoint. You can just ask. You know the right people to ask. If I communicate in a way that you find understandable, it helps you, whatever, then yeah, ask me. If not, go to the internet and just Google it. Go to the internet, Duke, and just Google it. You know what I'm saying? Find it out that way. Or shoot me a DM, and if I'm able to, I'll respond. Or follow me on one of my social platforms. I'll be doing my thing on TikTok now. You know what I mean? Oh, pardon me. Shouldn't have to hear that. I'm sorry. So, okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way, there's a couple announcements that I want to make. So, number one, let's do LinkedIn Love real quick, right? Let me bring this up. This is so dope. Okay, I want to shout out. Hold on. Okay, I want to shout out Jennifer Castillo. Hope I'm saying that right. I never asked her how to pronounce it. I'm just gonna guess it's Jennifer Castillo, right? She reached out to me and said she found me on YouTube, and she's been sharing that stuff with her team. And I'm able to share your videos with my team and not bore them to death. And she said, keep up the good work. So, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. But number one, my favorite thing is that she's like, yo, it ain't boring them. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of content that I do try to make, is that it's engaging and you can listen to it without, me droning on or feeling boring. So hopefully that is resonating with more than just Jennifer. But, if you tune into this show, I hope you're not like, oh my God, this is so boring, but I need the information. And this is just the beginning. I really do plan to bring a lot of theatrics to the podcast, but for now, just trying to deliver this information. And as I open up more time, then I'll get you hooked up with some some more bigger presentations. Number two, if you have noticed inside of your podcast player, there should be something that says send us a text or something like that. I host my podcast on Buzzsprout. This is a Buzzsprout feature that allows people to just send a text to the show. I turned it on a little while ago, and then the other day I'm like, yo, somebody sent me some fan mail. It's called Fanmail inside of Buzzsprout. So I got some fan mail, and I'm like, yo, this is so cool. So the person said, first and foremost, finding your podcast has made me realize how blind I've been. I am a sales manager for a Fortune 100 company, and we have been using spreadsheets, emails, server folders, and knowing there's a better way out there. Now, they shared some more, but I'm not going to share that. But here's what I want to say. Two things. First of all, thank you. No, three things. Thank you. That was dope. You know what I'm saying? I got an email saying, yo, you got Fanmail. So I read it and I'm like, yo, that's fire. I love that. Two is, so Fortune 100 company using spreadsheets and server folders and all that. It's like younger me would have been like all of those big time corporate companies. They got it together. That it was just the organizations that I knew that didn't, that needed their help. Wrong. Big time and small time and mid time companies don't have it together. It's very normal for people to just reach for spreadsheets, even in these sophisticated organizations. But you know what the good thing about that is that even though you're using spreadsheets, which is a more efficient way, you have figured out a way how to get your job done, even with that subpar technology. And I don't mean like Excel is subpar. I mean just using the wrong tool for the job, or using not using the best tool for the job that you have at your fingertips. So that's okay. The fact that you recognize it is what's up, because now we can, enhance what you're doing. So that's number two. Number three is send me fan mail. You know what I'm saying? Click on that link where it says send the show a text. I don't get your phone number, so don't worry about that. Although Buzzsprout might have your phone number. Maybe it's a little trick from them to sneakily, get your phone number, because they can bill it as, yo, send them fan mail, and then they get your phone number. But I don't know. I didn't read the terms and conditions, so I don't know. But if you feel comfortable, send me some fan mail. This will be fire. I'd love to do it. And whoever sent me that fan mail, just shoot me an email if you want to get on the calendar, and let's see if I can give you a overview of what might be your next steps. Also, last announcement. Pardon me. So last announcement. I'm looking for a business analyst. If you're listening to this show, then you get the first dibs on knowing what this looks like. So you don't have to be super technical, right? You just need to. Matter of fact, I don't need you to be super technical. If you have a basic understanding of what SharePoint is and how it could work, I would be more interested if you knew how to communicate with a customer. Because here's what happens. Someone finds me, then they reach out to me, and then we talk, and now they need some work, and I can't support it. I'm unable to support that. So now I'm looking for developers who can, I have a few developers in the arsenal who can, support the work, but it can't be me anymore. I don't have the bandwidth to do it. So I don't want to leave these people hanging. I want to leave my folks hanging. So what I now am thinking is that I, outsource the development work, which I've done in the past, no problem. And that's cool. But even that means I still have to be the go-between the customer and the developer. And can I take that on? Yeah, cool. Is that the best use of my time? No, it's not. And I know that there's there's plenty of people out there. I just have to find them. I need that business analyst who can, after I speak to the potential customer, and then I say, okay, hey, listen, this is what I think we can do, and they have 2 thumbs up, I can say, all right, listen, I'm going to put you in contact with my business analyst. They're going to talk to you and get some detailed requirements, and then, we'll go from there. So what you're really going to do is talk to the customer after I give you a quick brief and provide the recording of the initial consultation. You talk to the customer. Then you also talk to the developers that I'll say, hey, you should probably talk to this development team. They're probably the best ones to handle this. You deal with them. That's the person that I need, who can speak the language of the developer, but also speak the language of the business, and, go between. And so then when we get like a version 1 of whatever product we're looking at, then you would come back to me and we'd have a meeting, and then we'd overlook it or look it over, whatever. If you're out there, I am looking for you. I need you in my life. As far as money, the way you would start wouldn't be like a full-time position. I'd put you on a project because right now that's what it is, just various projects coming in. But I believe that this is going to help the business grow, because if I could get more people taken care of, that's more revenue, that's more growth. And then that means I can now bring you on full time, especially if you're doing a great job. I think that's such a key piece, because I remember I used to have to play the role of a business analyst as well. So I'm going to get the details out. I'm going to get a real announcement out there, but I wanted to let this fly through the podcast circuit first, because you listen, you probably know how I get down. It'd be great if I knew that the person I was hiring heard it here, because they have an idea of how I already operate and how I communicate. So again, it would be person, potential customer hits me up. I have an initial consultation. I then turn to the BA and I say, hey, listen, this is what they need. Talk to them. They get the detailed requirements. Now I need you to go talk to the developers, pass those requirements on, review those as they come back, and then we talk about it before we go back to the customer. And then you would get paid per project by the hour. I would love that person to reach out to me and let's see what we could do. And this isn't going to be some short-term thing. I mean, when I gain people in my life, I gain them forever. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this could become a real thing, because I think the company is going to grow and we're going to, really knock it out of the park. So yeah, reach out if that's you. Listen, I'm also doing my show on video. So I've recorded this via video, and hopefully you will be looking at it on video. I'm gonna drop it on YouTube, but also still stay in audio, because I love, audio. So you're hearing on audio, but if you want to see the visuals, then check out my YouTube channel. You should be able to see it there with no problem. I think that's it. That's all I got. Thank you for listening. Make sure you reach out, follow me on all the socials, and definitely TikTok. I'm ODing on TikTok right now. I'm going crazy. I'm dropping something every day over there. Anyway, thanks for listening. Talk to you later.